How's everyone? Great. Sorry, we're not going to start just yet, so please continue talking. Welcome. Thanks for coming. And who's happy to be here? Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So, for those of you who don't know, my name's Dom. I'm going to be your MC today. I'm supposed to talk about my past month, but I'm not that interesting of a guy, if I'm going to be honest. Okay, my month, I went to a movie last night. It was pretty good. Yeah. We watched Inside Out. Yeah. Who's seen that film? Yeah, it's a good message. It's pretty deep, right? Who hasn't seen that film? All right, please go watch that film because you're in for a treat. Okay, so yeah, just to start off, we're gonna begin by singing our first song. So if everyone could welcome up the band.
Okay, please stand up.
Please. The whole world
Christmas song, so please try and follow along. Who's excited for Christmas? Woo! We don't have a December service, so I've got to milk it now, remember, it's a bit early. It's hot in this, seriously. Okay.
Great, you really brought the spirit, huh? Yeah. Anyway, so, okay, so if we could all join together and pledge family place number 1. Okay, so, family place number 1. Our family, places to seek our original homeland, and of God and earth in heaven, the original idea of creation by centering on true love. Okay, please be seated. And please join me in an opening prayer. Good morning, Heavenly Parent, true parents. Thank you for this Sunday where we could all gather together and listen to this sermon today. We're about to enter our final month of the year, and it's the time when we can really reflect on the entire year and begin anew. So, thank you for this gathering again. I'd like to close this prayer on behalf of me and Eileen. The blessings of God will guard you. Okay, so next up we have our announcements. So I'd just like to welcome up Ruth.
Okay. So first announcement. The button. Thank you. Wind to Heart Workshop 2015. It is now fully booked, but just so you remember that it's happening, not that you'll forget, really. And another email will go out with what you need to bring. So if you could please remember to read that, because there are slight changes to this year's workshop. It's starting earlier, so it starts at lunch and not dinner. So you've got extra time on this workshop. So more time in your teams and stuff like that, and loads more games on the first day. So please arrive on time. Again, please read the email because there's lots of different things you need to bring this time. So when that goes out again, you will already have it. It's already been sent to you and to your parents' email addresses, but I'll send it again as a reminder, okay? The next one is the Wake concert. So can I have Kieran to give this announcement?
Yeah, so the White Christmas concert's going on. As you can see, it says Friday, the 18th of December. So that's the Friday everyone should break up for Christmas holidays. So please come check us out. The White team are preparing for the concert. So we're putting together songs, dances, and other performances. So please come along. The price is £5 for entry, 2 for £8. Yeah, and was it £4 for anyone paying earlier, something like that? Yeah. We also have raffle. Raffle tickets will be selling soon. I'm not fully sure when, but we'll get that out to you soon. I'm also not fully sure about the prices, but anyway, please come check us out. Thank you very much.
Alistair's lost his feet in that poster. No, it's okay. And is Hyoji here? I don't think he is. I think he's still sleeping. So he's organising a martial arts workshop from the 12th to the 13th. And so you can apply at the website, okay? It's going to be really awesome. Did you see his promo video? It's quite funny. It's really good, though. He's like looking in the mirror, and then he starts fighting, and it's really good. Okay, and then after the service, who missed the style swap? There was a style swap, and loads of girls brought clothing to share and give away. So there's going to be a mini one downstairs with what was left. So some stuff will be for free, some stuff you can buy. Mainly for the girls, unless guys want to buy girly things, but you won't want to. And the new HARP committee. So can we have the next slide? There should be one more slide. So we've got Kaz Sato, Samuel Shongwei, Liz Wiedeker. There should be more pictures. David Stout, Sunny Lau, Jungsun Shongwei, and Fran Reddyhoff. So are they in the room? Who's in the room? Could you stand up? I may have missed some people out or added people in. So if you're there and you're not supposed to be, I apologize. But you've got a new HOP committee for the year. So if you give them all a round of applause. And sorry about the picture choice if you don't like it. I did try and go for profile pictures, assuming that's what you'd like. But some of them are... No, they're all nice. They're all nice. And next slide, is that it for the announcements? So next service is on the 31st of January. That'll be in the new year. And lastly... birthdays. So birthdays in November. Mia. Anyone else? A November birthday? Gloria. Just come to the front, please. Don't be shy. HARP members. HARP members with birthdays in November. Anybody else who's being super shy? Oh, David's birthday's in November too. Okay. Should we sing? Anybody else? Come on. Oh, were you putting your hand up? Okay. Okay, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Molly. Happy birthday to you. One more time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. You get a quarter of the cake each, guys. You're lucky. Okay.
All right, so next up we have our song Country Roads. So if we could welcome up the band again. And let's sing with an even greater heart this time. I want to hear your voices, especially the brothers.
Want to stand up? Find your inner cowboy and cowgirl for this song, alright? Harness it.
Does it bounce?
You'll be seated. Probably energy there, definitely. Just on a side note, that bouquet of flowers over there were made by Kathleen Maloney. Yeah, I made a video with her of her sort of making it, and she's doing like this sort of cross. Just, spoiler for later, you might see it, but yeah, enjoy that while you can, because I don't know how long it's going to last, but looks pretty good, right? Yeah. All right, so next up we have our sermon given to us by Ruth, and the title is Gratitude. So, so if we could all prepare ourselves and be attentive, because we all know Ruth gives quite amazing talks, right? So, without further ado, let's welcome her up.
You're sick of seeing my face today, aren't you? You're like, yours, yeah, why? Okay. So, how is everybody? Great, okay. So the theme is gratitude. I don't know, I feel like it's like a season, like everyone's buying things, Christmas is coming, and there's been a lot of tragedy as well with the Paris attacks and lots of things going on around the world, not just that. But also a lot of hubbub, like in central London, lots of people going shopping, Black Friday, people wanting things and thinking what they're going to give, what they want to receive. Who here's thinking about what they want to get for Christmas? Like some new shoes. I just ordered a new pair of Nikes in the Black Friday sale. I was like, yes, gone for like really cheap. But do you know what I mean? It's like that little victory. It's kind of like, can consume us, like that we want this, and we often think about what we want rather than what we want to give people. Like, who here thinks more about what they're going to give other people than what they want to get? Well, at least you're honest. unless you're just lazy, you're tired, and falling asleep. So this is the last service of the year. There isn't one in December. So this is kind of like our Christmas service. And, it's a time about family and friends and those kinds of warm, fuzzy feelings, right? But it can also be a place, a time of like loneliness if people don't have family around. Or what about after all the presents are opened and all the chocolates are eaten? It's quite an empty feeling sometimes, isn't it? Do you not think? Does no one ever feel that way? I'm like, oh dang, it's over. Wait till next year or something. So lots of mixed feelings this time of year, I think, personally. So the theme is gratitude. So I want to first ask you a question. So if you want to chat for like a minute or so with the person next to you, why do you think it is important to be grateful? Go for it, you've got a minute. Joanna?
I think it's important to remember that there are people out there who are happier with less than what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy to take into
Yeah.
granted.
Anybody else? Don't be shy, come on. Abby? Leo? It's true. So you want to show appreciation, right, and recognition. Who here has ever done something, even though you to do it because you want recognition, but when you aren't recognised, it can be quite painful sometimes. Who's ever felt that way, like kind of felt rejected, or right? So what about this question? How do you personally express feelings of gratitude? So you've got another minute, 30 seconds, a minute. Okay, it's only short, but show of hands, anybody? How do you express feelings of gratitude? Jonathan? Tell people verbally, like thank you and thank them. Anybody else? Patrick?
Verbally, or if the moment is right in there.
A hug? So some people give gifts to say thank you. That's quite a Japanese. They're not so good with words, so they just shower you with presents. You might buy someone a coffee or something, or say thank you, or acts of service. Like, I know Cation likes it when I do things for her. Like, over saying nice things, she prefers it when I actually prove it, by helping her with her fashion show or something like that, right? So I think day to day, it can be really difficult to stay grateful, don't you think? It can be really, really hard. We're always told that we aren't enough, or we don't have enough, or we should have more. And if we have more, then we'll be happy, right? So it can be hard to be grateful when you feel hard done by, or when you feel, I don't know, maybe you're not pretty enough or smart enough. You don't have the latest things, you like shoes and things. Sometimes you compare yourself to your richer friends who have you always redo their house and think, I'm redoing my room and it's going to be like this, and I'm like, I never had my room redone. That's what I experienced anyway growing up. I always got the latest shoes though, so that's cool. But it can be really easy to feel that we're not good enough. I thought if I was sporty, really pretty, and smart, then that would be a really good combo. I really wanted to be those three things. If I could, in school, be the fastest one in the cross country, or, rather than picked last or whatever, which did happen quite a few times. But, if I was all these things, then maybe I would be something, be somebody. But actually, there are people who have all these things and still feel really, really empty, you know? Like, the richest people often feel the most empty because what are they lacking? They're kind of filling up a hole with stuff that's not good, that's kind of like septic or like kind of like going to make the wound worse, you know, rather than trying to fill it with good things, right? And that's often what we're doing, is that we don't feel good, and so we numb ourselves through listening to a song, or we watch something on YouTube, or we just numb something. So we do something that feels good, or we eat, or we go shopping, or we watch things that we shouldn't watch, or we, do you know what I mean? You kind of feed that empty feeling with things that make it worse, actually. So yeah, if you can read this along with me. Everyone is struggling to attain happiness and misfortune, from the commonplace affairs of individuals to the great events that shape the course of history. Each is at root an expression of the human aspiration for ever greater happiness. How then does happiness arise? People feel joy when their desires are fulfilled. The word desire, however, is often not understood in its original sense, because in the present circumstances, our desires tend to pursue evil rather than good. Desires which result in injustice do not emanate from a person's original mind. The original mind is well aware that such desires lead to misfortune. Therefore, it repels evil desires and strives to follow the good. Even at the cost of their lives, people seek for the joy that can enrapture the original mind. This is the human condition. We grope along exhausting paths to cast off the shadow of death and search for the light of life. So I'm sure a lot of our parents can attest that that opening paragraph of the DP was really struck them the most. And for me, like, it's very powerful. A lot of them joined kind of like in the 70s, right, around that time. And I think maybe even earlier. And that time, a lot of people were searching for meaning, you know, in their life. Like, it's kind of like hippie culture, you know, kind of meandering and wandering. And they were given direction. But a lot of people now as well, because we have this abundance of stuff, can feel equally lost and of want of something, right? So I think it's really important to think about the meaning of value. Like, what do we value in our life? You know, what does value mean? And who do we value in our life? What do we value in our life? So for an example, if there was a house fire, what would you save? You know, would you save your new pair of Nike Roche Runs, or would you save a photo album that your mom really treasured? The photo album is worth very little on eBay. To anyone who's not a relative, that means nothing to them really, right? Unless they're weird, I don't know. Or just like photographs, right? But to your mum or to you, that photo album means the world. It's like when you delete something on your hard drive, because now we don't really print photographs as much as we did back in the day, you know, when you used to wait for the film, send it off and stuff. But when you lose those pictures, even though they're not tangible and they're not in your hand, you feel like, oh my God, it's gone. All those memories from that workshop in 2009 are gone, or whatever, you know. So actually, it's just an example of how we can assess what we value in our life and what we want to invest into in our life, what is worth investing into. So, you know, there was a time in my life when I felt completely lost, you know, like I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know where I was going, didn't really care, did care at the same time, you know, all these mixture of feelings. And in essence, I'd forgotten the value of my life, like what my life was about. And, you know, during that time of depression and that feeling of emptiness, I was fortunate enough to go to America at that time. I was feeling really, really in a bad place. And there was this a first-gen woman who was living there, and she's kind of like spiritually open and very intuitive. Anyway, just very motherly. I needed like a motherly figure, you know, just to kind of talk to. And I was just talking to her, and she said, you know what, like, I think you've forgotten gratitude. And that's literally all she said to me. And I wrote the word gratitude in my notebook. And it did kind of ring true, but when you're told you're not grateful when you're feeling crap or crusty, is like quite hard to swallow, isn't it? You're like, what are you talking about? You know, it's quite hard to be criticized, or how I saw it criticized in that moment when you feel so bad. But now when I look back, actually, it's so true. It's really a key to unlocking contentment and happiness. And it's so simple. It was such a simple answer to my problems, you know. Because when we forget to be grateful, when we fail to see our life honestly and like the multitude that we have and the bounty that we have, then we feel empty, in essence, right? When we feel in want of something, we feel a lack of value, and our life lacks value, right? So, yeah, life can be really difficult sometimes. I think you'll all attest to that, right? Just because, we're not living in like a third world country doesn't mean life isn't hard sometimes. I'm sure people living in those conditions would be like, what are you on about? Like you have it all. But sometimes things can get tough, right? Family problems, whatever, school issues, just in general, it can be really difficult sometimes being a teenager, right? Or a young adult. We can feel lonely sometimes. We can feel quite desolate sometimes, right? But one quote that really, really helped me was this one. If you want to read it with me. I know God will not give me anything I can't handle. I just wish that he didn't trust me so much. So that also can be a hard thing to swallow sometimes. You're like, why? Why am I being given this difficult thing to deal with? But when I look back at that dark period, although I'd never want to relive that moment again, I can now see why it happened, I guess. And I'm not saying that everything bad happens for a reason, or like if you're suffering, it's a good thing. That's not what I'm saying. But the way we look at a situation can really transform it, actually. It's not the situation itself, but our outlook on it. And, if anyone's going through something like depression or those kinds of things, like it's a really dark place, so I'd never want to relive it. But if I hadn't gone through it, then maybe I wouldn't be able to empathize with a few of you who have felt that way, or empathize in general, like it somehow opened me up a bit more. Like I feel a capacity to empathize with lots of different people because they somehow all touch into what I felt. So if I had to do it again, then I would, even though it was really tough, because if I hadn't gone through it, then I wouldn't be standing here. Like definitely I wouldn't. So it's just interesting, and so if you're going through something tough, you're going to be okay. That always sounds so empty when I say that, but really, you're going to be okay. And it's things that seem impossible now won't always be impossible. And you will get to your eventual goal eventually, right? And I'm still on my way. Like, I'm still meandering and getting lost at times, which is what will happen. But I feel much more a sense of direction now. So when I was researching gratitude and its theme, and I typed it into Google, I got a lot of these kinds of images, like on the beach, loads of beach scenes, sunsets, hands in the air, hands in prayer, like a lot of this. And it was just interesting to me, like, there was a couple of people receiving gifts and things, but it was mainly stuff like this. And so it really got me thinking that actually, at its root, gratitude has roots with religion, right? And it's really about being prayerful and spiritual and relishing life. Because ultimately, if we think about being grateful for the biggest thing ever, it's our life, right? It's what's been bestowed to us by God, actually. Like, that's the biggest gift that we have. And we often forget because there are other things that we want to receive, or things we want to be said to us, or grades and things like this, that we forget essentially like the biggest gift we have, right? The gift to be here with your friends, to be conversing with each other, to have a life, right? So when we feel like gratitude in its truest sense, and that is, a gratitude towards God, then we can replenish, then we can truly replenish and fill up somehow with like really great kind of crystal water, like really refresh ourselves. So yeah, the answers are all there, basically, right? It's kind of feels so complex, but it's all so simple, actually. Feeling gratitude, like in its deepest sense. So, yeah, if you want to read this with me. It is difficult to find young people today who are passionate about their lives. We find so many young people who, with no goal or purpose for their life, are just wandering around. We are all created to be great men and women. God did not send us into this world without purpose. When God created us, he invested his complete love into each person. So we are all created for greatness. Because God exists, we can accomplish anything. I became a completely different person when I began to love God. So Truffaut is saying that when he found God, his life transformed. So you guys all have God in your life to an extent, right? You're second gen, so you were born into the movement. So to a point, of course, you're all blessed. But, are you going to truly seek out God? are you going to be reborn effectively? Because it's like a battery. It's like putting in a new battery. When you have God in your life, you'll feel propelled, and you'll be propelled in the right direction, and you'll feel like kind of like in a computer game when you like and you go turn into like a big sphere, and then you're like zooming off really fast. Like it's kind of like that, not as quick as that. Don't start racing off, but it's like almost like spiritual jet propulsion. If you're feeling it really deeply, and if you're connecting with God in a really deep sense and living with God. So if you're feeling a little lackluster, a little bit down, if you're trying to seek for happiness in things that aren't, here, like, the new pair of shoes. I keep talking about shoes because I really like shoes, so I can't really relate to much else. I can, but like food. But if you can really seek fulfillment in your spirituality and your relationships and your relationship with God, then that will ultimately end up with you'll end up with true happiness. So I'm going to show you a video. It's narrated by Brother David Steindl-Rast, who's a Benedictine monk, and he kind of offers some insightful views on gratitude. So if we can get the lights down. It's about 7 minutes long, but please try and absorb message and what it's trying to tell you, okay?
When I watch TV, it's just some shows that are pretend, and when you explore, you get more imagination than you already had, and when you get more imagination, it makes you want to go deeper in, so you can get more and see beautiful things. Like the path. If it's a path, it could lead you to a beach or something, and it could be beautiful.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, it's unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know, personally, I just found that really, really moving when I was watching it. And the part that stuck out the most was to live each day as if it's your first and your last. Like, that's really powerful. Because I'm quite a pessimistic person sometimes, and I often don't see, the good in my day or just in general. So I urge you to really take those things to heart and to really think about those things. I just want to end with a quote by Rumi, who was this 13th century Persian poet and scholar. And that is to wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will feed every corner of your life. And I just think it really kind of visually encompasses the sermon. To cover your life with feelings of gratitude and have that nourish everything that you do and everything that you say and how you feel. And in that way, you won't feel of want, but you'll feel very kind of complete. And that's it. Thank you, everybody. So if you can join me in a moment of reflection. Okay, please join me in a prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parent, thank you so much that we could all be here today, and that during this season we can really think about our life and attitude, and especially during Christmas time, rather than what we'd like to receive from others, about what we can give, not necessarily in present form, but through kind words and actions as well. And that we can really tap into the real essence of life and what really makes us happy above all the other fillers, and that we can decongest and replenish with goodness, and ultimately feel a sense of wholeness and a sense of real passion in our life. I really pray for everybody here that they can have a really amazing Christmas time, whether that be with family or with friends, and that we can also think about those who may be lonely this Christmas and how we can include them in our festivities. Please be with us now, and I'd like to offer this prayer now. In my name, Ruth Johnson, wife of Daniel Lloyd, our blessed natural couple. Haji.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. Yeah, I really enjoy that. Yeah, I do think it's the most important thing to be grateful in our life. Yeah, I mean, you look at True Father, he's probably the guy who suffered the most, right? But the reason he was able to do so many great things is because, he was just grateful for what he could gain through his suffering, right? He says that everyone needs to, go through difficulties before turning 30, right? So for those of you who are going through some difficulties, yeah, keep going. That's a good thing, Yeah, I was going back home the other day on the tube, and there was like this poster. I don't know if maybe some of you saw it. It was like, think of 3 things that you're grateful for, which I thought was interesting because, finally the media is doing something right. Yeah, it's interesting because we have Black Friday. Who went to Black Friday? Nice, Kieran. Yeah, I find it weird because Americans have Thanksgiving right before Black Friday, and Thanksgiving is all about being grateful and so on. And it's just the next day they're borderline murdering each other for presents and stuff. So yeah, Americans are a bit weird. Sorry, half Americans and Americans in here. Cara, I'm sorry. Yeah, so yeah. Shall we give another round of applause to Ruth? I think that was really good, right? Okay, so yeah, next up we have our offering song. So if we could all rise. And we're going to sing Sarang Hey. So.
doing foreign true parents. I want to pray that this offering can do a lot for us and return joy to you. I know that yes, sometimes it's hard for us to give back, but yeah, we want to say thank you for everyone who offered 1p to £1, and yeah, I want to be grateful for everything in life. And I pray this in my name, Stanley Strongway, Central West Family, Padre.
Okay, please be seated. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this HARP service. Yeah, first of all, I just want to once again say thanks to Ruth for the sermon. Also for the sound team, for the music team. The sound. Oh wait, no, they're different things. Sorry, the sound team and the one at the back. Can we give a round of applause for them? Also for the band. The band was so small today, but it still sounded great, right? Yeah. And lastly, thank you for you guys for coming. It's nice to see all your faces. As we're on the theme of gratitude today, I guess when we're done, we can all give each other a big hug and, tell each other how much we're grateful for each other. So, yeah, thanks for coming, guys.